The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe. This is the United Podcast Network.
This is Africa Diaspora Connect.
Join us as we take the journey from the motherland to America.
We share our experiences and learn from them.
Here is our host, Kibathi Gaturu.
Welcome. They say the next best thing to eating food is talking about it. Art in of itself takes many forms. Today will be an introduction to that in culinary. These artists articulate what we ardent consumers have always felt, but have been unable to eloquently put into words. Mark Twain once said, "The secret to success in life is to eat what you like and let the food fight it out inside." To better amplify this even better, my guest this dinner evening is the man who practically lives by that innate desire to feed. He uses his imagination and desire to provide that one lifelong nourishing need, mangiare, kukula, eating. It's the first thing we do to learn when we grow up, when we're born. It's the first thing we learn. It's the last thing we remember when we are just basically on that dying bed. It's a reflex action. His office, a kitchen, where he transforms basic organic ingredients into an art form. Chef Wainaina, welcome to Studio 21 in this, our highly anticipated episode. Karibu sana. So tell us, do we live to eat or do we live to eat? I want to start with that.
You need food, man.
We need food. So we need food.
You need food to build your life.
We need, okay.
Yes, that's a good starting point. And what a nice words to put, just to get it started.
Just to get it started.
I love it.
You love it. You love it.
I love it.
Take us through your journey from inception to where you are. When did you know you had this gift, or did you know you ever had it? How did it come across? Take us from the beginning and take us to modern day.
I don't know what you're asking, but I'm an African man, okay?
Okay.
And men don't cook.
So there we go.
I don't think that's something I was going out there advertising. That's what I do, because naturally, that's something that we are not brought up.
Very true.
Taught that men should be, should end up in the kitchen. That's not their place.
True.
But I always say we didn't know what we were missing.
Understood.
Why do we have to wait somewhere out there for somebody to bring food to us so that we can enjoy it?
Okay, I'm listening.
Why can't we be a part of it?
Okay.
It's a process. Let's talk about family. We're talking about family. It's one way of getting together, sitting around the table, everybody partaking, their part, enjoying. It's a good way of having a conversation.
True it is.
So we should cook.
We should cook. We should cook.
We
Hear
should
that?
cook.
We should cook. Now, I heard something, voy, something about voy. Those were your humble beginnings back in the day, growing up in that environment and learning the tricks of the trade. How do you define your art? What is your signature brand? As a chef, what do you call yourself? What's your brand? What are you trying to get to your clientele, us, we hungry souls?
I'm a Kenyan in the heart.
Okay.
So, and food is culture. So that's one thing. No matter what you become as a chef, but what you become is normally defined by where you're coming from.
Okay.
Because you can go to school and learn, all the techniques, all the language and all the things about food. But if you don't have a culture, that defines you, food is part of people's culture.
Okay.
So, and if you embrace that, then it really defines you and really sets you apart from the pack. Because everybody, let's say, for example, in this country. So in this country, you have, everybody, knows, what they know from here.
Yeah.
So if you are lucky enough to have come from somewhere else or a different culture, So that means you are introducing something new. So you have an advantage.
True.
In a way.
You do.
Yeah. So, but going back to your question, I was actually born in Rift Valley. You know what used to be Rift Valley.
Yeah.
Kajiado in Mas Island.
Uh-huh.
That's actually where my family, some of the first the people from the Central who moved to the Maasai. We were born there. We were brought up there.
Okay.
And then part of my family went to Coast Voi to do minerals mining.
Ah.
So, as a family, I ended up there when I was actually after my high school. In a way, I got stuck there. Voi is part of the coast. And, coast and food,
Absolutely.
you can't separate those two.
Very true.
So, and I think that is one of the places that really started defining my journey in food.
Got it.
But that opened up much, much later because I still had that element of you don't cook.
You don't cook. The kitchen is not man enough for us. I'll speak for myself, but we'll get that in a second. What formal training have you had as a chef? What training have you had?
To be honest with you, I wasn't a chef.
Uh-huh.
I wasn't a chef until I came to this country.
Okay.
No, I wasn't.
Wow.
But food has always been something that has always been bubbling in the inside of me. Right before I came here, actually, I used to run a bakery in Voi.
Okay.
And that bakery, I never went to school to learn anything to do with baking. I actually, most of it taught myself. And then, just using, the social contact, get people who know stuff. And that's the best way to learn things, by the way. Reach out to people, learn things. And I got it going. But when I came to this country, that's a long story.
A long story.
But it's an interesting story because it's given me, it's brought me to where I am and made me who I am. And it's really a nice story.
So this land of opportunity really does work. You had to cross the Atlantic.
It does.
And really now captivate and capture that innate desire to do something that you knew you loved, but the pathway wasn't there in the motherland, but you were able to get to where you are and catapult it to modern day.
I actually tried when I was back home.
Okay.
Because I always knew that I really loved to do, food, even back home.
Uh-huh.
And I tried to go to Italy when I was in Kenya. I interviewed everything.
They turned you down?
Yeah, to some reason, my name disappeared along the way.
If they're watching, this is a gem right here.
I never got it. I actually went 2 times. I think I went for an interview in Nairobi. I think I was a little late. And then, I was lucky. They sent me to Mombasa. I went and did an interview. And, I had a cousin, somebody told me I passed.
You're here now. You are here now. So let me tell you, I hate cooking. Personally, I think it's tedious. I think it's tiring. It's boring. And in all honesty, I can never get my spices right. And I have a tendency of boiling all my meals with a lot of peas and potatoes. I think it's a cultural thing. I think you know what I'm talking about. How can you assist a brother like myself who craves a good meal and cannot seem to get it right? I mean, I can boil an egg. That's about it. But a brother like me who loves to eat, is there any shortcuts to this?
So I assume when you say, you can do that, so you always go to the kitchen, right?
When my kids were young, I did that a lot. Absolutely.
That.
Yeah, I did. Nowadays, I order out.
Okay.
Yeah. What can I do? What is there any easy recipes out there that just basic things that take all of 5-10 minutes that I can just go in there and swivel and just leave?
No, actually, cooking is not that complicated.
Okay.
And you really don't have to go reinvent yourself.
Okay.
Or make anything new that does not exist in you. The good starting point is just do you.
Just do me.
Cook you.
I like putting some wings,
grilling
wings. My friends make fun of me.
Just what you like to eat.
Really.
A lot of time that's what I tell people, and I advise people, because it doesn't make sense, for you to go look for those fancy recipes, and then you end up in that recipe. There's something that you actually don't eat, or it's not even available to you. Keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
Start from your own basic things, what you know. And then also be mindful of what you have in your own kitchen. because that's one of the frustrating things. People want to cook, but then you are picking on things that are not executable, or you cannot do them within, the what you have in your kitchen.
I have a lot of ice cubes, but we'll talk about that. So you've worked in some of the best establishments that Boston has to offer, all right?
Yes.
Most recently as senior sous chef above the Prudential. Quite the feat. As a man of color in an establishment that really caters to our Coppertone persuasion, how were you able to deliver with finesse at the level you're in at? And what challenges did you face as an African diaspora breaking into this highly selective industry?
It's a challenge. It's actually one of the biggest challenge in our industry, but that is something that is definitely changing.
Okay.
Because one of the biggest things that has changed when it comes to food is people have embraced, what used to be exotic. It's no longer exotic. If you look at the menu in modern American restaurant here, if you are aware, you'll see things like new American. So the new American means that it embraces things that are not traditionally, not the burgers, not all that. So you're going to find Asian inspirations in a menu. In a menu, you're going to find Indian, and if you're lucky, you're going to find African inspiration. So that's basically what's defining the new American when somebody calls a restaurant the new American.
Understood.
But to go back to your question, it's a real challenge. Until recently, it just used to be white male dominated.
I was gonna come to that. Yep.
So for somebody just to come from outside that, and then it needs a lot of connections. You have to be integrated in a way so that you just move up the ranks. But to be honest with you, a lot of those things are changing because things now, they are being driven more by taste, because people have become aware of different tastes. And if you are there stuck thinking that you still want somebody to do exactly that, and your clientele are looking for a different thing, you're gonna have to go with that, because restaurants have become trendy.
Understood.
So the word trendy, it has become very popular.
Yeah, talking about male dominated, I remember there was that crazy guy, what's his name? Ramsey, and then there's Emeril, there's Bourdain. It was strictly male dominated. That's all we see. So I'm glad you brought that out. I have a question for you. So you have, who are the people who come to you? Are they called clients? What are they called? If I come to your restaurant, what's my name?
No, you're not a client.
What am I?
We don't deal with clients.
What do they call me?
We deal with guests.
Okay, I'm a guest.
Yes.
I'm a guest. I'm dissatisfied with my meal.
If I'm going to put my meal on a table and you're going to partake it to enjoy it,
I'm a guest.
You're my guest.
I'm your guest.
And I'm your host.
Guest host. Got it.
Yes.
But today I'm the host. You're my guest.
Yes, thank you.
Got it. All right. So I come in as your guest, and I'm 75% deep, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not paying for this. This was missing something in it. It was too spicy. I'm not gonna eat it. How do you deal with that?
That we take that one. There is always the model. The guest is always right.
Okay.
And number one, so that is one guest who is dissatisfied.
Yeah.
So they always say, one dissatisfied guest will go out there and spread the word faster.
Understood.
Than the satisfied guest. So if you to some either good reason or but then it depends on where you are dining or enjoying your lunch or
let's
meal.
talk about the Prudential up there.
Well, if you didn't like it, you no question asked.
No question that.
You get whatever you want. Right. If you're not satisfied,
good to know.
And that's what I do. That's what you'll do everywhere too.
Yeah.
And I think that's a culture. When it comes to us, the diaspora, we need to embrace and especially when it comes to food, because there are all these stories. You go to some restaurant somewhere,
Yeah.
you utalipa.
Utalipa, you're gonna pay for it.
Yeah.
So walk us through this whole the chef designation. I think they call it the brigade de cuisine. All the way from, I don't know, you're in the kitchen in a smaller environment. I think they call it fast something, whatever. All the way to what are the different layers? All the way to that executive chef.
So the restaurant actually, so think of it this way.
Yeah.
The restaurant is a business.
Okay.
Like any other business.
Uh-huh.
And for a successful business, whatever it is, it has to have a structure.
Yes.
So if you go to a corporate setup, they have their structure right from the bottom all the way up. Most of the restaurant, and especially the Western restaurant, they are based on French style.
Uh-huh.
So the French style restaurant is based on something called a brigade system.
Brigade.
So almost like a military.
Yeah.
So there is, there are layers right from the bottom all the way to the up.
Uh-huh.
So in this country, so if you in the French way, it's a little complicated,
okay.
and it's in French.
Okay.
Okay.
I speak this much French. Okay.
You speak that much French.
Yeah,
okay. So
to.
it just starts at the bottom. You got the cooks.
Uh-huh.
So first of all, when you go to you'll never tell when you're out there as a guest, because when you order a dish, all you're gonna get is a dish is gonna come in plates and nicely presented.
Mm-hmm.
But that dish actually in the kitchen has gone through a lot of processes.
Yeah.
Think of it the same way you'll think of an assembly line.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think of a car or whatever gets assembled,
okay, yeah.
So one part is done in one corner, the other part is done in another corner, and then it all comes together, and then the last thing is fitted, and then you drive off in a car. So I'm not trying to compare food with a car.
No, I got it.
But
it's a great analogy.
But it's just that idea.
Yeah.
So the kitchen is divided into what's called stations.
Mm-hmm.
So every station is assigned a particular duty or job to do. So for a dish, for some dishes you might have, say for example you order a steak.
Uh-huh.
So there's one guy or a lady or whoever, their job is just to grill that steak to your desired temp.
Yeah.
Then if you ordered that steak with, say, mashed potatoes,
I like
or
medium well, by the way, medium rare, so you know.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Almost medium rare.
Yeah. Did I say something wrong?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. What do I say?
Well done.
Oh, well done. Okay. Well done. It is.
Okay. When I look at you and knowing where we come from.
Oh, okay. So I guess
one of the things I tell people here,
yeah.
When I work in restaurants is, guys, I know how to make steaks.
Yeah.
But for me, I cook backward because, I grew up eating well done, meat,
Yeah, but I like the pink. I like the pink.
No, hold on.
Oh, okay.
So I'll tell them, I can cook, the rare, but I'm gonna have to go all the way to the end because that's how I cook meat, and then learn coming backward. And I really had trouble when I started working in the restaurants because I couldn't get the temperatures. Yeah, because we are used to eating, meat well and well done.
Absolutely.
So when you see some blood oozing out, oh man, even if it's not you eating it, it's like I still have to cook it a little bit more.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, good. Now let me ask you this: as a chef, do you ever get involved with the pricing of the meal, or how does that work?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the work of the chef. The chef. That's your key. That's your key area. And I think that's something that a lot of people probably don't understand. You as a chef, you're running a business.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a business. The same way I said, structures and all these.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a business. So you have people who either it's your business, or you have people who put money in there as their own business.
Okay.
So it has to make money.
Got it.
And you're gonna have to find a way to make the food make money for those investors.
Absolutely.
So one of the key thing and one of the major thing as a chef is to do the food costing.
Okay.
That is very, very, very
So it's called
important.
costing, not pricing.
It's the same thing.
I like making up stuff. I like,
Yeah,
okay.
that's fine.
Okay, that's cool.
It
All right,
works.
I'm
I
okay.
know,
All
I
right.
know,
But it sounded
I'll,
intelligent.
I'll
Okay.
go. I'll go with
All right,
yours. We'll say
let's go with costing.
pricing.
Let's go with costing. We'll go with costing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Food costing is so let's say, for example, you have some beautiful samosas
Oh my
here.
God, as you're talking, yes.
So you're gonna have to cost each and every ingredient in that. Plus, don't forget the frying oil.
Everything.
Everything. You're gonna have to cost everything out, and then
Wow.
you see how much did you spend on that.
By the way, I'm making a combi. This is a mandazi. In high
Mandazi.
school, we used to do this, put in the middle. But keep talking. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So put all those ingredients together, total them, and then remember, one of the biggest cost in restaurant is not the ingredients, is the labor.
The labor.
Yes, is the labor.
All right.
So labor costs a lot more. So you're gonna have to factor in the labor, and then of course factor in the rest of the administrative costs. You're going to need electricity, or wherever. If you are in a building, you need to pay rent. You need to pay all the other. It's just like any other business. You look at it that way. Probably costed differently, but food costing is very, very, very important in restaurant. And if somebody wants to open a restaurant and you don't think of food costing, you're not gonna go far.
You're not gonna go far.
No.
Well, you heard it here. So let me ask you this: walk us through this whole thing about appetizers. All right. I mean, there's an appetizer, there's a main course, and then there's a dessert. I'm like, do these people have like guests in their stomach? I mean, I can hardly eat one main course. I mean, do you think Americans eat too much? I mean, how does this work? Is it necessary to have all these meals?
I'll just keep on going back
to what?
To this thing about being a business. So in business, it's all about upselling.
Upselling, all right.
Okay.
This going to be upsold.
Yes. So if I make those samosas, I might think, what else might go with the samosa? So if I add this dip, I'm going to add some silent pennies out there, and then it's going to make money. So definitely one of the things about appetizer. So remember, one of the things nowadays about going out to eat, it's no longer this idea that you're going to eat because you're hungry. It's become part of people's entertainment.
Eating is an wow.
It's become entertainment. Some years back it used to be
like a necessity. It's a need. You're hungry. Back in the day.
Back in the day, yeah.
But nowadays it's
a sort of entertainment.
Wow.
Yeah. So you're going out to have fun. So actually, it used to be. It's strange because there's a little switch back here now, because before it used to be people used to go to music shows.
Yeah.
And then the musicians will headline a show. But that has kind of switched a little bit.
Okay.
Nowadays it's food headlining.
Wow.
Headlining, and then the musicians will come like the backup to back the food. Hey, musicians, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we have 3 of them in the audience today.
No, seriously, yeah, food has become the way people are looking at food nowadays. Pre-COVID, is not the way that people used to look it before. But then again, it also depends on where you're going to enjoy your dinner.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who would have thought? Food for thought. Food for thought. So you have recently reinvented yourself with this whole COVID mayhem. The establishment where you were last at had to shut down. It's the economy is such that, but you are doing amazing things now. Can you just give us a little, just a little summarized version of how you able to just go from there to where you are now, and where are you heading?
I don't
Tell
know.
us what they don't know yet. Tell us what you're doing right now. What are you doing right now? It's amazing.
As Top of the Hub was still scheduled to close, by the way.
Okay. Oh, it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was still closing
It's
down.
Top of the Hub. You heard it. I wasn't going to call out the name, but it's all right.
No, that's okay.
Top of the Hub.
But I'm just going back there because I want to put one point here. So when the word came out that restaurant was going to close,
okay,
I had tons of calls,
Okay.
and people wanted me to go work in their restaurants. Actually, I was gonna pick where I was gonna go work.
Check that out.
No, on a serious note.
And I know that.
I had so many calls. I wasn't even worried. But then COVID came in, and
Yeah.
everything changed.
Everything shut
Right
down.
now, all I see is people. Oh, somebody viewed your LinkedIn or whatever.
Yeah.
But then it came as it's bad things, or things that are challenging times. They are good because they come to challenge us.
Yeah.
And sometimes they get the best out of us, either knowingly or unknowingly. One of the things that I had always wanted to do was to have to showcase or to share my recipes and my ideas with people. But I kind of almost believed that somebody has to do that for me until I found myself in the house, and I can't find people to come and do that for me. So basically, one of the things that I did was to start a YouTube channel. I've always been out there in the social media. I do a lot of Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. So I like sharing, especially. I only share food on those social media. So if you go to my social media, all you see is a bunch
Tell
of.
us what's the site? Where? Say it. We're here right now. Which one? On LinkedIn? Not on LinkedIn, but on Instagram. Where you at?
Instagram. I'm on Instagram at Savo Eat.
Savo Eat. Savo with the TSAVO. Savo Eat.
TSVO
Yeah.
Eat. Savo Eat. I'm on Instagram. Chef D Wainaina. Actually, that's a channel that is geared towards talking to you. You who can't cook.
Yeah. Me right here.
You and people who are looking to grow their skills and understand all these. It's just a way that I am sharing those simple ideas with people out there, and I'm glad that it's been received very well. Actually, I'm not surprised. But the reception is very, very, very good. Just share with people.
You're self-taught. The way you set up your kitchen, the way you edit your own videos. I come in here. I have my producer sitting on my right-hand side. I'm spoiled. You do it by yourself. Everything, the camera, everything. I mean, it's astonishing. It's amazing. It's a reinvention of sorts. I applaud you.
Thank you. I had to teach myself. My first video, I think I took over a week or something. My son will ask me, old man. He calls me old man. And it's like,
yeah,
you still working on it? when is it coming out? But
persistence.
Yeah, and I think also not setting limits and boundaries. And I think that I think for us, especially the diaspora, I think that's one thing we need to embrace more. So we don't get stuck in what basically what works, because sometimes it just stops working.
True.
I was doing very well as a chef. Actually, I was headed towards some big times, and then
you still are.
No, I'm talking about that, and I'm not worried. I moved away from that, and I really embraced what I'm doing, and I'm loving it very much. Sharing, sharing with the people and getting response from people what they are learning from that channel. It's really been very uplifting to me, and I really want to just keep on doing that.
Keep it up.
Yes.
Here comes the $1 million question, right? I don't think you're a dietitian, okay? But as a chef, you know what you're putting in there. I mean, what ingredients make us fat? All right, especially like our infant kids. Look at you. You look like you hardly eat. You work in a kitchen, for crying out loud. How do you keep so lean? I mean, what ingredients? What should we look out for? Did I stump you?
No.
Okay.
That's a good question.
All right.
That's a good question, actually, because
like our kids.
Besides enjoying food and food just being that your source of energy and the nutrition and whatever you need. It's important, of course, to balance what you're eating. It's important to note what you're eating. But then when you think of a dish, when we think of these samosa, I'll keep on going back to it.
It's right here.
Um,
I'm going to demolish it shortly.
so one of the things with food is you understand about the five senses, senses of taste.
Tell me. I don't know. I have no idea.
Oh,
Teach me. I'm here to learn. I'm here to learn.
okay. You're a good palate.
My palate, yeah.
Okay,
Distinctive. Go ahead.
Okay, so every dish is defined by those senses. They are actually based on your tongue. So you perceive sweet.
Yes.
When you taste the mango lassi, it's
yes.
You remember that video?
Oh, that video we took. I can make it. Go ahead, yeah.
Yeah. So you perceive sweet. You perceive you perceive sour.
Yep.
When you taste like a lemon.
Sweet, sour.
Bitter if you
bitter.
And then you have something called umami.
Umama.
Umami.
Oh, umami.
Yeah,
okay.
Savory.
Okay.
Like when that guy Big Bugwa.
Oh, yeah, the guy who owns a goat farm. Yeah,
the
I know.
Goat. When you taste the goat,
yeah.
When you taste the goat, you say, "Oh, that goat is good." There's that distinct taste, that comes from from the meats and all that. That's almost like a new, it's more newer, savory, defined savoriness, and of course you have the salty. So you have those.
Wow.
So every time you're creating a dish, you have to think of all those components. Hey. So in every dish, whether it's a dessert, whether it's a main dish, so you gotta have to factor for all those things and find the sources of all those things.
Wow.
And those things sometimes, I snipped on a discussion somewhere. Somebody was talking about salty and all these. Yeah, you can teach. If you eat too much salt, you can teach your palate or your taste. Mm-hmm. Either to take more or less. Like for me, I can actually drink tea without sugar.
Actually, I did that myself. I used to take like 2.5 spoons of sugar every day, every morning.
And now you don't.
None.
And if you give me tea without sugar
no milk and no milk for me, no milk. It's just turungi.
I like my milk.
Turungi for kapsa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I taught it, but I taught my palate.
You taught it. Like here for me too. I also talk to people here. Our background. I don't know about you, but me when I was growing up, things like cheese, they were a little foreign.
Okay.
So I didn't have that defined taste for things, like taste this extreme, sour, combining sugar with beef and all that. But you teach your palate or your taste to adapt to that. And so going back to to the kids and all that. So it's about thinking about those tastes and how you balance them. So how do you make them, how do you bring them up, lift them up, and what, which ingredients will give you without using, too much salt.
This
and
is
all
so
that.
tasty. This is healthy. This mango lassi is so beautiful.
And it has salt. There's salt in there.
There's no salt.
There is, but you're not going to taste it.
Well, I think I tasted it.
Yeah. So
is it healthy?
Yeah.
Is it real mangoes?
Yeah, real mangoes actually. So this is actually made from Indian mangoes. Those mangoes, they have a very, very, very limited window. They have a very small window. I think they come to this country for only about 2 months.
They need a visa. They're beautiful. These
mangoes are out of
this
very,
world.
very, very,
I love
very
them.
tasty. Yeah.
I'm going to wind down. Something that is rarely spoken about. Okay? At a certain age, we men start to lose our muscle, our muscle tone. And that libido starts to become a shell of what it used to be. Are there any foods that we can start eating to be still energetic and have the muscle?
I'm not an expert in that area, but all I know is, in general, just for you to keep your because you'll be naive if you just want one area to work and you forget about the others.
Absolutely.
You need every
all
components.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's very important that when you look at a plate, when you look at a dish, when you go to the kitchen, even before so because one of the things I tell people, because there are questions that I get from people about presentation. You know, how do you make this dish so beautiful?
Yeah.
So I always remind the people. So those things you don't do them when the food is already, to go to the table. You do that when you are imagining the dish. So because you gotta have to create it fast.
You gotta create
So
it.
so food has become almost like an art.
It is.
So
It's an art.
so
It is.
so you're gonna have to reimagine it fast, create everything, and then when you are going to the stores to get the ingredients that you need, you already have a concept of what you're coming up with. So to going back to your point, you need to make sure that at least your plate is balanced.
Okay.
One of the most important thing, and probably is going to help you in all areas and in your area, is vegetables.
Veggies.
Yeah, vegetables are very important.
Okay.
They are very important component because they give you all the minerals that you need. They give you all the vitamins that you need.
Okay.
A lot of vegetables have proteins in them. Take less of the red meat. I'm not a proponent of don't eat.
Okay.
No, but I'm just saying everything for me is about moderation.
Moderation.
And understanding.
Moderation. Listen
Yeah.
to that. Moderation.
And also, switching around. There are things. There's nothing wrong with the peas and potatoes.
And you boil them a lot in a lot of water? No.
That's where learning the new ideas and
only
technique. That's where the learning and understanding the things about food.
Wow.
Because when you look at a potato, there are so many ways that you can make a potato besides just boiling.
Wow.
So and that's the most important thing that you as a cook and me as a cook need to learn is the technique. If you understand the techniques involved in making a dish, you are going to be very good and useful in a kitchen. You're not going to be worried about recipes because you can look at a recipe for inspiration, but it's not going to be what is telling you exactly what to do. Learn techniques. So if you are good at grilling, if you learn grilling, the mbuzi, goats and all these, then you can grill anything.
Understood.
But then, think, so if you grill that, remember, you can also grill vegetables.
Yeah.
So on that same grill.
I've seen that, like pineapples too.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
On that same grill,
Yeah.
you can make a whole balanced dish from that same grill, So throw in some,
Wow.
a lot of vegetables in there.
What services do you provide? Do you cater? What do you do for people now? What are you doing? What do they like if they want to reach out to Chef Wainaina? What do you do? What kind of services do you offer?
I'm actually doing catering now.
Okay.
Mostly from my home kitchen.
Uh-huh.
One of the things that I want to promote more, maybe down the road, is a full service, almost like a full service dinner. There's a lot of issues now with the COVID. We have to be very careful with that. But if you have guests in your house or you as a family, sometimes you have, now we can't go out and all this, and you are home and you still really want to celebrate an occasion,
Yeah.
or whatever, a birthday, whatever it is, you can call for my service.
All right.
So I'm creating I have a 3-course dinner and a 4-course dinner. They are limited. They are not for a crowd.
Okay.
Because we have to be mindful of
How
the
many
time.
people can you accommodate?
Between 6 and 12.
6 and
For
12.
that's a full service.
Okay.
That's a full. I'm going to come with everything ready, set up everything. All you're going to do, restaurant style, sit down, enjoy a meal.
How far can you travel outside the confines of where you live?
Right now, I'm still limiting myself.
Uh-huh.
Of course, it's gonna grow with time.
Okay.
Depending on the reception. But in the meanwhile, I'm still doing the simple things. If you want your samosas,
Okay.
you are going to enjoy your samosas. I'm doing the simple caterings.
And how can they reach out to you? How do they contact you?
They can reach me. They can reach me through. You can inbox me through my Instagram.
Okay.
You can DM me on those who are my contacts on WhatsApp. You can DM me through Facebook. Those who are on Facebook.
Okay.
My pages are public.
It's Chef.
So
It says Chef
Chef Wainaina.
Chef Wainaina. That's where you can find him. Our fellow Samarakans. Samarakans, I know you're watching this right here. Hey, listen, I have learned a lot. I have wet my palate. I want to destroy this lassie, my combi. We're moving on. Thank you so much. Well, you've heard it from our very own celebrated chef. Please check him out on Instagram at Savo Eats. And as for our new Diaspora Connects, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe this delicious episode. You can also reach us at African Diaspora AfricaDiasporaConnects.com. I kind of messed it up. Africa Diaspora Connects at gmail.com. I said it right. Studio 21, we love it. Be sure to tune in into our Apple podcast as well. You can also connect with us on Spotify, Facebook. Stay tuned for our next podcast. Now listen to this. What happens behind closed doors? The untold story. A panel of distinguished guests will be on site to engage you. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell icon so you can always be informed when a new episode is released. Your host, Kibathi Gaturu, the bondsman, saying, see you soon at an airwave near you. Chef Wainaina, I want to destroy this thing right now. Thank you,
ahead.
Sir. Thank you. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.